here in the CUPRA offices just outside Barcelona. In Spain with the CUPRA Tavascan, CUPRA's first fully electric SUV, originally launched in 2019 at IAA. It's been a couple of years coming based on that MEV platform with the Volkswagen Group. So this is the same as the Volkswagen ID4, ID5, Skoda Enyaq, Audi Q4 e-tron, but this is that coupe roofline, so more like the Volkswagen ID5 or the fastback coupes, Audi Q4s or the Skoda Enyaqs. We're going to look around the outside, the inside, and then take it out for a drive today. So let's get stuck into it. Let's have a look around the outside of the CUPRA Tavascan. I think the front is absolutely striking. Obviously still based on that MEB platform, but stylistically I think CUPRA are doing a phenomenal job. We've got those 3 triangle lights, which is going to be the signature daytime running light for CUPRA across all of their cars. You've got some really aggressive front on it here. You've got the light up CUPRA badging, potentially one of the first in the European Union to allow this to happen all the time. I know that Opel Frontera are looking at doing it as well. You've got the CUPRA lettering in underneath, glass black, the CUPRA triangles. Hopefully you can catch that. There you go. You can catch that on camera. Then underneath that CUPRA copper, gloss black. Got your sensors. Really nice. On the bonnet, some really interesting dints. And then when you come around this side, you can actually see that it's very much aero. Let me pop open the bonnet to show you. There is no frunk inside it, but I'll show you what it looks like. You can see it's very much an engine bay. I know that you probably could get an aftermarket tray in there for your cables, nice and heavy, and you can see there's some real bracing going on there. It's a real heavy, gorgeous, really nice. Working down along the side, let's go through some of the sizes of this CUPRA Tavascan. Maybe better the other side to get some light on it. This is the blue color. Comes in 6 different colors. Oh yeah, that's much better there now. Gorgeous. Copper wheels. These are Eco Contacts Q6 from Continental, and they're 255/40/21s. You've got that glass black in or around. Wouldn't be an SUV if it wasn't. This is also going to be produced in China. They're looking to sell 50,000 units next year. The front is LED matrix, depending on the trim. 19s, 20s and 21-inch wheels. And it's 255 front and rear. And if it's the 19-inch wheel, it's a 235 on the front and 255 on the rear. The 6 different colors that it comes in is the Tavascan Blue, which is this one. It comes in white silver, Atacama Desert, which is inside, Urano Grey, Hypernova Red, and then the Centuri Bronze Matte. It's 4.6 meters long, 1.9 meters wide, and 1.6 meters high. Wheelbase of 2.8 meters. Moving down along the side, you've got that gloss black A-pillar. They say it's like a driver's helmet. Body color on the top, and then pano sunroof, glass back B-pillars. Door handles, they're an unusual one. You have to really engage and then pull. You have to really be intentful. It's not just it's squeeze and then pull. It's caught me out a couple of times actually today. Matte black window seal, glass black big VW with the indicator, and the 360-degree camera and indicator, and sorry, retractable. You've got that glass black in underneath, just to try and hide the height of it. Charging, 11 kilowatt on AC, and on DC up to 130 kilowatt. The 77 kilowatt hour battery, 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. This is the business end around the back, gorgeous. And again with that illuminated CUPRA badging and that triangle 3, very much a 3D effect. You got that Tavascan there, you can see it's flickering in the camera, but not to the naked eye. Large CUPRA in silver, and then the VZ, because this is the all-wheel drive. Comes in 2 different versions, and then in underneath you've got a fairly aggressive spoiler. Down underneath is for the boot lid. Good size boot in here then as well. You've got a 40/60 with a ski hatch. And even though it's coupe, it's 540 litres. And you have false floor, charging cables in underneath there. And then in underneath that then as well, more storage space down there. So you can drop that down if you wanted to have a lower floor. In the back then you've got some tie-off points, LED light. Nice 12 volt up here on the left. Come around to me. And then up here. Nice. Put in the comments. Jump into the comments. Let me know what you think. Is the Tavascan the one that you'd go for? The ID5, Q4, or the Skoda Enyaq? In the rear. Some people have said there's too many hard plastics, but they're textured, which I don't mind. You've got this gorgeous copper, and then you've got this Alcantara with the kind of CUPRA logo inside, and that illuminates at night time. You've got this coated, and it is soft touch. And you've got your sound system. This is a Sennheiser collaboration. Beautiful blue interior. 3 headrests. In the back you've got your cup holders and the ability to drop that down as well for your ski hatch from the interior. This keeps beeping away at me, whatever it is, maybe because the door is open. Let's have a little seat inside. Yes, it was the door is open. Let me turn down the volume. And it is, where is volume? This side? Oh, here. The volume things are up there, very good. Okay, so in the back you can see these gorgeous sculpted seats with the CUPRA copper. Not a lot of visibility through them, so they're fairly solid. Behind that then you've got some pockets in underneath, space for my feet, and plenty of room. You've got heated seats in the rear in this version, and then you've got your tri-zone climate control, 2 USB-Cs in underneath. Yeah, and then the sun blind goes all the way back over your head. This one is partially put forward, but the actual crease is here. So legroom, headroom is good. 6'2", 188 centimeters. Let's get comfortable. Couple of centimeters, maybe 2-3 centimeters for me. But yeah, the rake is good. Seats are comfortable. You've got that Alcantara and that microfiber inside in it. Let's have a seat in the front and have a look at the interior. Hold that, make sure I get it right. A bit more textured. This is not what you want to be looking at. A bit more textured. So you've got the textured black plastic at the top. It's soft for sure, for fair. And this one is that CUPRA. You can really see that with the copper. And then some Alcantara here. You've got that Volkswagen rear window, front window selector. Not a bad size door bin in underneath then as well. Got the CUPRA sill plate. You've got some memory seats, adjustable, and then lumbar as well. You've got your lighting down on here over the left knee, and this gorgeous whalebone, you can see what it looks like there, goes all the way across in copper, and you can see the central spine there as well. So the CUPRA steering wheel, gorgeous as always with that copper. You've got haptic buttons, which some people aren't a fan of. You've got your drive mode cycle button, and then the CUPRA direct button with some copper accents on there as well. Behind that then, on the right hand side, you have your wipers and indicators. And on the left hand side, you have your drive selector, reverse neutral drive. You've got your ID light at the bottom of the windscreen, head-up display, Volkswagen little driver instrument cluster, and that is not connected to the steering wheel. It is directly onto the dash. But it's more of an italic kind of typeface on there, so nice. Central spine is a big talking point. You've got your physical hazard button. In underneath that then you have your wireless charging pad. You've got your USB Type-Cs, 2 of them. And then for some reason you have underneath, you have more, but it's a floor. There's no way of stopping it. I'll show you a bit better once I open the door and get down into the footwell. Let's do that now. So down here you can see there's a gap there, and if there was a little wall, you could store stuff here. Here's your storage, and it is actually nearly floating, gives that effect. Behind that then you've got your copper lined cup holders, 2, and then you've got your butterfly with your 12 volt inside there. Key is gorgeous, just a skin on it. These seats, look at these. CUPRA in the headrest, copper, Alcantara. Yeah, beautiful. Very, very nice. And then also you have 50.4 inch screen, climate control, all the different features. Then you've got your big tiles, responsive, map, home screen, media. You've got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. This is saying 43% battery with 222 kilometers. Depending on whether you go for the VZ or not, would dictate how much of a range you get, because you've got rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, but we'll talk about that when we get out for a drive. Yeah, the screen is good. And then glove box, your traditional Volkswagen fare. I like the interior of the CUPRA Tavascan. It's definitely a step up from Volkswagen. Is it as good as Audi? Audi's more traditional, Skoda more buttons. This has light up behind the screen, but they're still haptic. They're still sliders, so some people have an issue with that. The next generation, I believe, in the Volkswagen group are going to be getting away from it. But yeah, with that Sennheiser system as well. That's the blue one. I want to show you inside some of the lights on the copper effect one. But that's the exterior and interior of the CUPRA Tavascan. I think it looks great on the road. And let's have a look around inside here. You can see then in this colour, you can see the VZ in the background. It's kind of a matte. What I wanted to show you is it's got that blue light inside here. You can see it over there. Oh yeah, there's much better. You can see what it looks like. Ambient lighting is a big factor to it. And then you can see a bit better inside that CUPRA illuminated logo. And those trail lights, gorgeous colour. So let's take it out for a drive. What's it like driving the CUPRA Tavascan? First of all, the seats are absolutely gorgeous, and these are the microfiber, but there is a level above as well, and there's a number of different packs, not too many. They definitely didn't want to complicate things, but there is a Napa leather, ventilated as well. But that VZ all-wheel drive, you can really feel the poke on it. What they've done with the at the front, they've lowered the suspension by 15 millimeters in the front, and then in the rear, on the front they've lowered it by 50 millimeters, and in the rear by about 15 millimeters. So it's the lowest MEB platform car as it is. Brakes, 2-pot calipers on the front, drum brakes on the rear, again like all MEB platform, but so real stopping power with that. You have to have it with the level of power that we have, and we're going to talk about that level of power once we get back and I run through the specs. Regenerative braking, an interesting one. We have pedals on the back of very similar to the Audi situation, where we have 3 levels of regenerative braking, and then you can put it into B mode. Unfortunately, none of them really are one pedal driving, but you do have the option of utilising the brakes, the pedals, for regenerative braking. Visibility is great. That head-up display, can't knock it, nice and wide, and there is augmented reality in it. Large VW wing mirrors. We've got blind spot indicating here as this guy is coming into my... Just want to make sure the blind spot was working. But yeah, they're a great size. And for aero, the aero on this is 0.26. Acceleration, good. Again, with the VZ version, you're getting an all-wheel drive. As standard, you'll also get... there's 2 different trims, VZ, and then there's, I think it's Endurance, I think it's called. And I'll run through those stats again when I pull over and come back from this little mini drive. But overall, good. Now, I've watched some other reviews and read some other reviews, and the braking on the Tavascan, it's an interesting one, so I'm going to have a little feel of that now. Well, it's not bad. they're talking about the blending between regenerative braking and the mechanical side of things. And there was a lot of talk about it for the Born VZ, which I'm going to have a separate video on the channel. So as much as we had the CUPRA Born and then the CUPRA Born e-Boost, now there's a VZ version and there was a CUPRA driver. And CUPRA, that history, that CUPRA name even comes from Cup Racing. So we need to remember that there is a heritage here. So they have tweaked the chassis, so the height lower at the front, a bit lower at the rear, 19s, 20s and 21-inch wheels. This one we're riding on today is 21-inch, so you're always going to feel that bit more of the undulations on the road. But can you chuck it around the place? That's the question. I think the answer is going to be yes. Just need to get out on the roads that have a bit more of a speed limit, but also a bit more turning. Difficult when you're on a press drive for having it for a limited time. Always great when we get it back to Ireland and we're able to drive it right-hand drive on Irish roads. We know exactly what it's to feel like. It feels heavy. It is 2.2 tons, so it's not going to be super maneuverable, but they're trying to make it as best as they can. I don't find those brakes too bad, actually. I think if you're an EV driver and you're driving electric vehicles all the time, I think you get used to that, how that brake feel is. I think if you're jumping in and out of different vehicles with different powertrains, there might be a difference there, but I don't have any problem with it so far. We've got 5 minutes worth of driving left, so let's see how that goes. It is Barcelona and it is raining on the plain in Spain, unfortunately, at the moment. But power, there's no problem there. We're getting up to speed and you don't feel it at all. Super smooth now. It is motorway, don't get me wrong. Is it a bit of a firmer ride? Potentially. But I haven't felt it yet. But the roads, obviously they're always going to give you roads that are going to feel better. Pickup is good there. Steering controls, we've talked about how they're haptic, and again I've watched other reviewers and they've talked about how when they're driving they're starting to hit the volume up or the volume down, or changing the station on the radio or changing the track on your audio. Again, very difficult for me to feel it after a couple of minutes driving, and that's all unfortunately we get on these press drives. So looking forward to bringing it home and seeing what it's like to live with for a longer period of time. When you live with a car for a week, it's very easy to start to find its faults. But other reviewers have talked about how the haptic is being caught when they're driving, but I usually try and do 10 to 2, and so it's always going to be not down near the center of the steering wheel. Drive modes you can see here on this camera. Drive modes you can see on this camera, we can cycle through them. So we have got the drive profile, we've got the CUPRA, individual, traction, range, comfort, performance. So let's go through those again. So we're cycling through them. Hopefully I've had to put on noise cancellation on the microphone. I'm not going to try and talk when this is raining here. One thing that is missing on the rear is a wiper. Now it's not so bad today, it is bucketing down with rain and I'm still visible, but I think you'd need to put a hydrophobic film or coating on it. After that big shower of rain, to talk about that rear window, there is no wiper on it, but I think you'd probably need to put some kind of a hydrophobic coating on it. Now it's fine actually there, and the wind is whipping it off, but I'd say on a dirty road in the west of Ireland, you wouldn't be long having it coated. So I always prefer when there's a wiper on it. It's going to affect the drag coefficient, etc., especially on that coupe roofline. Feels like there's plenty of power in this all-wheel drive version, and we're going to run through some of those stats once we get back to the actual base. But I'm enjoying the drive. You can feel it's a big, large SUV, but you can feel that it has been a bit more tightened versus the likes of an ID4 GTX, ID5 GTX, an Audi or an Enyaq. For drivability, I'd probably go for this one. Let's head back to CUPRA HQ so we can chat about some of the stats that we've experienced here in the CUPRA Tavascan. Some stats just before I hand back the car. Power-wise, we were looking at 210 kilowatts of power, 286 PS on the rear-wheel drive version, and then on the VZ version, which I'm driving today, that's 250 kilowatt or 340 PS. Dual motor, all-wheel drive, and it's the most powerful version. 550 kilometers is the WLTP, and you can select DCC, dynamic chassis control, depending on how you like your driving style. Some other stats that we talked about today, let me pull up prices. We're hearing for the VZ version, it's going to start with a 550, between 50 and 55. These are to be confirmed. And then the entry level is going to be sub 50, again, to be confirmed, and that's called the Endurance. That entry level rear wheel drive is going to be 210 kilowatts of power, 286 PS, 545 Newton meter torque, and a range of 568. And then the VZ version that we're in today has 250 kilowatts of power, 340 PS, 0 to 100 in 5.5 seconds. Torque on the rear is going to be 545 Newton meters, and on the front is going to be 134. And the range for this one, they're saying WLTP is 522. At 71%, we're just at around 300 kilometers. Hopefully you've enjoyed my first look, and, well, it's not really my first look. Hopefully you've enjoyed my second look around the CUPRA Tavascan first quick drive. As I said, looking forward to getting back in Ireland so I can really test it on Irish roads, right-hand drive. Hopefully you've already subscribed to the channel, hit the like button, left a comment, and remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thank you very much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to enjoy that video too.